Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Students, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let us begin with study of scriptures in today's satsang, which is one of the most important things that can help us in our student life. It is important for you to study the scriptures of your religion and the religions of others. Become global, become universal, see everything from a holistic viewpoint. These scriptures abound with teachings that are intensely practical in resolving the problems of life. So have an open mind, think outside the box. They hold the secrets for peace and harmony within yourself and in the world around you. Scriptures are the guiding light that show us how to proceed. Do not turn away from the scriptures by developing the notion that the stories contained in them are mere fairy tales. They are not, they are deeply allegorical. Far from this, the stories of the scriptures are highly mystical in nature. When you gain insight into their deeper meanings, you will be amazed at how much wisdom has been condensed in each and every story. And that's why we need sages and saints and qualified teachers to explain them in profound detail. It's like a diamond in the rough, but once it comes to a jeweler who knows how to shine it, it becomes invaluable. Much in the same way, when we come to these scriptures with an open mind under and study under a qualified guru, a qualified preceptor, a teacher, we grow in profound ways. Young people with Hindu or Sanatana Dharma background would benefit greatly by learning Sanskrit or Hindi, since they already speak it at home, and they may read the scriptures such as Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, Upanishads in the richness of the language in which it was written. But it is not necessary to do so if you are born elsewhere or you do not speak those languages. It is perfectly okay, perfectly fine to study those scriptures in English or your local language that you speak, because it's the emotions and the words and the meanings that are more important than the language itself. So, although if you have an interest, by all means, you can pursue that as well, but don't limit yourself to just that. All young men and women of today, though growing up under the influence of a highly affluent and materialistic culture, should not forget their rich spiritual heritage, the spiritual wisdom that has been presented by the sages in the ancient scriptures and in modern commentaries upon these great works. Live to unfold the potentiality of your soul. Practice the lofty ideals and the cultural values taught by the great teachers of mankind and become a source of inspiration for others. Be a student all your life. Don't ever say, I have studied enough, I am now earning good money, I have become a doctor. We are always learning. Life itself is a university. Whether if we have grown academically, then we may want to learn music, or we may want to do something in art or um, literature, philosophy. There are so many things, and life is abound with them. So be a student all your life. In the university of the world process, everyone is a student, as we just covered. This broad understanding of the term student implies that one is continuously learning till our last breath. Although this book is designed mainly for students who are studying in schools and colleges, these ideas apply to all of us, all human beings, for the attainment of prosperity and success. So let's not just limit it to students who are studying in schools. Since being a student is very demanding and time consuming, Swamiji has devised a simple method for remembering certain points which will help you to succeed in your studies as well as in life. All you have to do is simply think of the letters of the word student. So there's a mnemonic for this, and S is for study in the student. So study has two aspects, academic and the perpetual study of life itself. You are a student as long as you live until you breathe your last breath. At every moment, you are learning something that you did not know before. So, the eagerness to be open to learning must never stop. As Shakespeare wrote, there are sermons in stones and lessons in running brooks. And the Bhagavad Gita teaches us every leaf of the cosmic tree is a Veda, a source of knowledge. In your academic studies, you must study systematically, regularly, and with self effort. As a student, you cannot depend on anyone else. It is you who must study and learn. It is you who must prepare for examinations. It would be quite absurd to call a friend and ask him to do your assignment, saying, "Please study this history lesson for me. I'm too busy to do it." That wouldn't work, would it? As a source of inspiration, reflect on the following story about the early years of an ancient saint. So, there was once a boy who, prior to becoming a saint, was a very poor student. Because he had to work all day, the only time he was able to study was at night. Well, one night he could not find sufficient oil to burn his lamp, so he went to bed in a state of frustration. When he finally fell asleep, an angel appeared in his dream and said, "I will give you all the knowledge in the world. All you have to do is open your mouth and I will spit the knowledge into it." The boy became upset and said, "No, please, that is not how I want to attain knowledge. I just want oil for my lamp so that I can study by myself and acquire knowledge with dignity." Actually, the angel was just testing the poor student, and because he was so pleased by the boy's response, he gave him a blessing. Consequently, the boy became a great personality. So, this story emphasizes the importance of depending only on yourself. With such a spirit of self dependence, you too can become an excellent student as well as a great spiritual personality. Believing in the power of your own self effort, try to be organized in your studying. Before going to class, always try to prepare ahead for the next lecture. Glance through that subject and have an outline for the information. When you are prepared, your mind has a special capacity to attend to everything you hear. Otherwise, when you listen to a lecture for which you are not prepared, your mind goes blank. Consequently, you become upset and console yourself with the belief that it's all right, even though I don't have the faintest idea what is going on right now, I'll figure it all out when I get home. Being a successful student is a great art, one that does not require you to have your head in books day and night. If you manage your time well, you can be prepared in an organized way. Therefore, it is not the quantity of time that you study, but the quality that matters. So, study well. So, T is for tenacity. Remember, we are discussing the mnemonics of students. So, we covered S. Now, we are discussing the next letter, T, for tenacity. Even though you may be weak in certain subject, do not feel dejected. Try again and again. If your effort is sustained with faith, you will succeed with the proper help and guidance. With tenacity, you can do amazing things. Nothing is impossible for anyone. So never for a moment accept the erroneous notion, "I am not meant for this." Suppose, for example, that you had to address your classmates by giving a short talk. You prepare your speech, but the moment you get to the podium, you begin to tremble and your voice starts to waver. When you have finally gotten through it, someone tells you that you are not meant to speak publicly. You don't have what it takes. This is totally wrong. In the initial stage of all study, there is always a little wavering in your heart, a little diffidence. Yet, everyone has the capacity to overcome this initial weakness. If you continue with tenacity, you will realize that every subject becomes interesting and engrossing, a form of exploration. The idea that a project must go smoothly from beginning to end is wrong. No one becomes a hero in a battle unless he encounters some difficulty, some smack on the head. Therefore, tenacity must be adopted with great tenaciousness. So, with this, we conclude our satsang for today. And in tomorrow's satsang, we will continue with the mnemonic student and we will cover U for understanding. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.